In the last video, we saw Randolph pulling out a huge fish from the lake and Kanghyuk deciding to make a spicy fish stew out of it. While cooking, he learned from Randolph that the creatures around the lake are extraordinarily large because of the special power of the lake, and animals like the gigachad rabbit and the jumping birds are not found anywhere else. After that, Kanghyuk prepares a broth using the fish bones, vegetables, and spices, and that is enough to make Randolph and rice cake drool. However, before they can get to the main course, Kanghyuk presents some raw fish sashimi to them with a variety of dips. Next, they finally get to the spicy fish stew, and Randolph tells Kanghyuk to bring out some cold ones because this is a dish that definitely tastes best with alcohol. They begin eating the stew and drinking, and Kanghyuk thinks that his sense of taste is finally back. It had returned a couple days ago when he was trying to make the ravioli for the pianist Youngwon. It was not a dramatic thing for him, like the time his taste sense returned partially, but Kanghyuk was grateful. At night, Kanghyuk is terribly hungover, and as he leaves his tent, he finds the elf baddie Emilia there. Kanghyuk thanks her for her advice about facing his demons because that helped him deal with some bullies, and to thank him, he offers to cook something for her. However, he can barely stand and stumbles to the ground, and Emilia tells him to hold the cooking for another day. Right now, she is here for something more important, which is related to his affinity for spirits. Emilia says that normally humans have low affinity, and they can't even see spirits, but Kanghyuk can see them clearly, which means he is special. That is why she wants him to make a contract with a spirit in hopes that the real meaning behind his presence here can become clear to her. Kanghyuk is surprised to hear Emilia's offer to make a contract with a spirit, and she tells him that mostly people think that elves monopolize the spirits. However, that is not true at all, because elves are just naturally closer to the spirits, so they often form contracts with them. Anyone can make a contract with a spirit if they have the affinity for it, regardless of their species. Emilia believes that Kanghyuk must have considerable affinity for spirits since he can see her elemental spirit bird, Sona. She asks Kanghyuk if he would like to try his hand at forming a contract with a spirit, and the air around him darkens as he nervously tells her that he understood everything she told him. However, the problem is that his stomach is not feeling well right now, so he requests her to continue this topic tomorrow. Suddenly, he pukes out all the alcohol he drank in the day, earning himself a -1 million aura. The loud sound of his retching echoes through the forest, and a pretty rainbow unicorn is starting to hear it too. Is that going to be his spirit? The next morning, Kanghyuk has finally sobered up, and the first thing he does is apologize to Emilia for the last night. He says that he never meant to show her the worst side of him, and Rice Cake doesn't even understand what he is talking about. Emilia doesn't want him to dwell on it either and tells him that day drinking is pretty common with elves as well. Kanghyuk then tells her that he thinks about her offer of having a spirit, and he is not really sure about it. He tells Emilia that spirits stay with their contractor every time, and that is basically like raising another pet when he already has one that is quite demanding at times. He tells Emilia that he will need to take some more time to properly think about it and decide if he is ready for that responsibility. Meanwhile, Rice Cake begins imagining that Kanghyuk will summon a dog-like spirit who will be bigger and cuter than him, and with softer and more fluffy fur. He freaks out because he doesn't want Kanghyuk to get another pet, so he approaches him and tugs on his pants. Kanghyuk asks him what is wrong, and Rice Cake gives him the cutest puppy face to convey that he doesn't need another pet when he has him. However, Kanghyuk is just like other men who can't get a clue until it is very, very clear, and he thinks that Rice Cake wants a little brother, and that was his way of making a request. Well, he thinks that if Rice Cake wants a friend, he shouldn't refuse him. Kanghyuk immediately tells Emilia that he will form a contract with a spirit, thinking that Rice Cake must have been so lonely, and the white wolf pup is shocked and betrayed. Emilia is excited to hear that Kanghyuk is ready to get a spirit and says that she is sure that he will get an amazing one. Rice Cake, on the other hand, is not so thrilled and kicks Kanghyuk in the face for not understanding what he meant. With that, Emilia tells Kanghyuk to quickly change into his summoning suit, and that's probably what her dad bought back from his Hawaii trip. Kanghyuk is dumbfounded as he wears the skirt made of leaves, some accessories that go with the theme, and a small wooden stick. Emilia is pleased to see him like that and says that these items will help increase his spiritual affinity, and he will definitely be able to summon a spirit. Kanghyuk feels embarrassed about it though and asks if he really needs to wear this. Emilia asks if he doesn't like it, and he tells her that it feels a little empty and he doesn't really like the way the cool wind is touching him down under. Emilia doesn't pay him any mind and says that her grandpa wore that when he made a contract with a great spirit. And the still stupefied Kanghyuk says that her grandpa must have been the biggest fashion icon of his time. Emilia affirms and then tells Kang Hyun to think about the type of spirit he wants to make a contract with. Kang Hyun is not interested in thinking right now, and he says that he is fine with whatever. Emilia tells him that he can't go on with that attitude because the type of spirit that comes to him will have different specialties, hobbies, age, and values according to his desire. Kang Hyun thinks that this is just like browsing dating apps, and it seems that he has a bit of experience with it. Emilia tells him that it will be quick, and then starts the ritual to call forth the spirits. Kang Hyun feels the flow of energy in the air and sees spirits that look like small fireflies from a distance. He thinks about the spirit he wants, and the only requirement he has is that the spirit he gets should not be picky with food. Just as he says this, an orange-colored spirit suddenly flies towards him. It circles Kang Hyun and then lands on the ground, and Emilia is eager to see what it will turn out to be. She can tell from the size of the spiritual energy and the shine that it must be a high spirit. But Rice Cake is not pleased. Kang Hyun stares at the high spirit in awe as it transforms from pure energy into a creature. The orange spirit becomes a cute little hamster, and Kang Hyun is a bit let down when he sees how small it is. On the other hand, the hamster is smitten by Kang Hyun's handsome face, and she starts blushing as she thinks that he is going to be her master from now on. The hamster hides her face in embarrassment and digs into the ground, much to Kang Hyun's astonishment. The spirit tries running away, but as she comes out on the other side, she finds Rice Cake is already there to intercept her, and he is not pleased with her. Well, he should be glad that it was not the rainbow unicorn. Emilia looks at the terrified hamster spirit and tells Kang Hyun that she looks like a rare case because she can use 2 elements. Kang Hyun is curious about the 2 elements, and as Emilia begins to tell her about the other element besides earth, the hamster uses it. She breathes out fire towards Rice Cake in desperation, but he simply shuts her mouth with his paw. Emilia says that even though the spirit can use 2 elements, it is still too young to use them both together. Meanwhile, Rice Cake looks at the hamster he knocked out, and he is relieved that it is not someone bigger and cuter than him. Emilia brings Kang Hyun there and tells him to give the hamster spirit a name to seal the contract. Kang Hyun begins wondering what he should name her and thinks that Ratatouille will be too cliché. In the end, he picks up the orange hamster and decides to name her Tori, and her last name will be Ham. Later, he lays Tori to sleep peacefully, and Emilia tells him that she was not expecting such a spirit to come out, and Kang Hyun has exceeded her expectations yet again. She wishes him the best of luck in making a good connection with Tori and says that she has to go back to her patrol now. Kang Hyun suddenly grabs her hand as he asks her to wait, sincerely telling her that he can't let her go without eating anything. He immediately prepares a salad sandwich for her because he had all the ingredients ready in case Emilia came here without eating breakfast. She looks at the sandwich in her hand and asks Kang Hyun if people call him weird, and he does not understand what she means. Anyway, Emilia really didn't eat breakfast and thinks that there is no harm in eating one sandwich. She is a bit confused about the sandwich, and Kang Hyun tells her that it is a simple and filling dish. So many people eat it for breakfast. He begins to think about how he often used to have salad sandwiches a lot when he was a kid, and Rice Cake comes to ask for his share. On the other hand, it is Emilia's first time seeing something like this, but she trusts that it will be good since Kang Hyun made it. She takes a bite and immediately feels the deliciousness of the sandwich. The bread is softer than she could even imagine, and it melted in her mouth only after a few chews. She then describes how much she likes the food. But that is the most generic description, like the sauce is sweet and sour, the vegetables are crunchy, the salt is salty, and the water is wet. You basically get the gist. Emilia starts eating the sandwich with enthusiasm, wondering when human culinary skills have advanced so far. However, she thinks that this might be something else. Kang Hyun says that he is glad that she liked the sandwich, and Emilia thinks that maybe he is from a special place where food like this is common. She smiles at him and says that he is like a mysterious chef, and Kang Hyun doesn't get what she said. Anyway, Emilia asks him if she can have another sandwich because it is really good, and he eagerly tells her that she can have a lot more, and he can even pack some for her to eat later. They happily begin having breakfast in the forest, and this chapter ends without a cliffhanger. That's all for this video. We saw Kang Hyun wearing a skirt made of leaves, which he used to summon a rather shy and possibly perverted hamster spirit. Let us see what happens between them later, but I strongly sense that Kang Hyun and Emilia's ship is starting to sail. Tell us if you think the same in the comments. Tune in for the next part of the video soon. Until then, check out other videos on our channel.